What we are focused on is reducing contamination in the cab. We know it's never going to be immaculately clean, but we're all about creating a safer environment and being able to execute that both on incident and after an incident. So it's really about common sense practices that can reduce risk. It's not about perfection. So I have a couple of different options that I know are common at fire stations and that we'll be using today. Obviously, my favorite, paper towels. These are disposable. You can wipe down contaminated surfaces and throw them out, but also cloths are excellent for being able to really agitate surfaces and remove a lot of particulates. You can throw them away if you need to, but they can also be laundered and reused. That's not a problem. Something like Windex, which I know you all love Windex. And then of course, thank you for lending me your Simple Green. Almost every fire station I know has a giant bottle of Simple Green. All purpose, can be used on any surfaces. But if you're in a bind, you're out on incident, something even like a Clorox wipe or simply just water on a towel will work just fine. We know there's a pretty large suite of chemicals that come from the ash and soot from the fires. We'll also talk more inside about contaminated PPE or PPE that's been exposed to smoke, ash, soot on the fire. When you're in your dirty PPE and you're sitting in the cab, you're creating additional exposures through poor air quality, and then also a lot of the soot and ash that's on your PPE is being deposited inside the interior of the cab. So we're gonna target areas that are touched a lot in the course of your duty and talk about how to prioritize cleaning. So things like the controls, steering wheel, switches and knobs, latches and handles, electronics, computers and screens. Really important too, communications, headsets. Those things are sitting directly on your head, contact with your face. They tend to be highly contaminated as well. Really focusing on things like armrests, so door panels, center consoles, windowsills, and then non-porous materials whenever possible. Vinyl seats are ideal because they are easy to clean and they don't absorb contaminants. I understand that cloth seats and cloth seat covers can be more comfortable, but they are essentially hazardous waste materials after a few times out in the field. They collect absolutely everything and they hold on to it. Washing can be helpful, but it's better to just not have cloth seats at all. We're also going to talk a little bit about access points, so entry, so egress surfaces, and then kind of this breathing zone, so dashboards, vents, and microphones. When you begin cleaning, PPE is still important. Disposable gloves, this is going to reduce your skin dermal contact with contaminants and the cleaning supplies. Also, we're not using compressed air today, but I do know that compressed air compressors are common, easy way to clean out. If you're going to do that, and if you're going to clean the interior at all, N95 mask. You don't want to breathe in what you're trying to get rid of in your cab. So with that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to don my mask. We're going to crack open some windows and do some wipe downs, but we're going to go ahead and start with the high touch points in the back of the crew cab. Another area of contamination just to be aware of, when you look directly in, the first thing you see is the cooler and the water cooler and the regular cooler. Because a lot of times your hands are dirty when you're handling the cooler, when you're drinking that water, you're actually ingesting a lot of the smoke and soot. We have some data that suggests that simply washing your hands before a meal break reduces your contamination by quite a bit, which means we know that a lot of it is just being consumed accidentally. So I'm going to use the Clorox wipes to wipe down the cooler as well. It's not directly on the Clean Cab sticker, but it's important to pay attention to because that's where you're getting your drinks from. So as I walk in, I've already opened the windows. For this particular vehicle, high touch points are going to be the seat belts. Obviously the seats are nice and vinyl, so it should be easy to wipe down. We've got radios in the front, some additional, like I said, the coolers. And then for this particular apparatus, if you were on an incident and just needed to do a quick cleanup before obviously you're done, That's what I would do. I would walk in, I definitely clean the coolers, the radios, anything that your hands are gonna be touching, anything that's going on or near your face or mouth, and then all of the vinyl seats. Seat belts are high touch points, and then if at all possible, to keep the windows open to ventilate it. So that's how I would do the back part of this apparatus. If we were gonna do the cab, it would be really similar, just minus the coolers, right? So you would go in, wipe down the comms, any touch points on the dashboard, so switches, computers, that kind of thing. Wipe down the seats, seat belts, and then any sort of armrest area. Definitely want to get cup holders or anywhere where food or drink might be stored. Headrests are especially important because typically the head and neck is not covered by PPE, especially when driving. Anything like to adjust the seat or those kinds of buttons, anything you're touching with your hands, you should be cleaning. That includes things like handles, buttons you use to roll the windows up and down, anywhere your arm might rest while you're driving, also important. Seatbelts that are fabric can be really challenging. Obviously, these can't be wiped clean as easily, but you can always give them a quick damp wipe to get rid of at least surface dust and ash. Definitely want to get rid of anything on the seatbelts as well. Okay. Just a reminder, a couple of things. I know you all love Dawn so much. You can use soap and water, scrub brushes or scrubbers, especially the disposable ones, on the floorboards if you want, if you're going to do a more thorough decontamination. But if you are on incident or in a location with limited resources, water and a towel or water and a paper towel are better than nothing at all. And that's really what we're working towards. Reducing contamination, doing better, not perfection. That's why it's cleaner cab and not clean cab, right? And focus on the headrest for this one. Obviously there's gear in here that you would want to remove before cleaning, but even with just water, you get a pretty good removal there. Just want to make sure when you're using the fabric or the cloth, if you scrub vigorously, it'll actually pick up a lot of contamination even with just water. So if you touch it with your hands, you should clean it, right? Anytime you're touching something with your hands, it has the potential to get through your skin, or if you're gonna have a drink or food later, into your body. Make sure you wear your mask, because anything that you're trying to get rid of in your cab, you don't want to be inhaling into your body. But also think about things like how you roll down your windows, the handles you use to close. You may have noticed that I wiped down, the bar here, because you're gonna use this to get in and out, right? So anything you're touching should be cleaning.